Hey, what's up everyone? So this is of the stack of recordings I have. It's like one of many. I think it's like the fourth I'm doing. Um, for you guys see like one or two of these like every week, but I'm just chain recording these actually. Doing like lot in one row. I did two of them this afternoon, two in the evening now, and tomorrow I will be going for a bit of more recording actually. Um, I actually love this planning function on YouTube that has been recently added, that I can just upload them all at once and provide this content for you over the following weeks, which is nice. Okay, so let's have a look at the game. This hunt patch, by the way, is just so nice, by the way, I love it. But as you guys can see, I'm gonna be playing as Set this game again. So gonna be played on Tundra. It is a map I quite like, but on Set I'd rather have something like Frozen Wastes actually. I prefer that a bit. I really like the walruses that nobody actually bothers to take usually, but I as Set I can just convert them, and it just gives me a big advantage. Also putting the Migdol forward towards your first gold mine or for a secondary gold mine, it's just great because you're automatically secured. It's something I like to do on Set, and I'm probably going to be aiming for that here as well, because this can quite easily be secured by a Migdol, and it would be the perfect place to build it. But anyways, let's jump into the game. But my priest is actually getting bolted, and when that happens to me I just hate it. I just hate it because I have to make a priest a lot later in the later stages, and it's gonna mean no more conversion, and this is some place I would actually not move to with my villagers. But with the priests I can still eat these animals for a hunt, which is what I would have been doing, but yeah, that's kinda disrupted now. But anyways, I'm playing as Set on the side, and in the middle is my friend I quite recently met actually, like 1.5 weeks ago. It's my friend Delaney, also from the Netherlands. He's a nice guy, we often play together. We don't really win much actually for some weird reason, but we like to have fun. So that's what we're gonna do here. He's gonna be playing as our pocket. He's around 1650 real rate, I think. Maybe between 1600 and 1650, but he's a decent player. And on the other flank, it's my friend Awas Ranked. He is also known as FA Furkan or Astro. Actually, Awas Ranked is a name Peruano usually uses actually, I think. But he is using it for some reason, I don't know why. This is Furkan aka Astro, and he's gonna be playing as Store. A couple months back I don't think his Tor was too great, but he really has improved on Tor, and I think his Tor is very high level these days. Well, pretty high level, at around 1700 probably, maybe even a bit better actually. But pretty good. So let's have a look at the opponent, and we already see it's gonna be Imperator LV playing as the Hades here. On the flank against my friend Furkan. So let's see how that's going to be going for him. Even though he is the Hades and he can defend quite nicely, Furkan is definitely not an easy matchup to play against. So let's see how Furkan is going to be playing this and Imperator. In the pocket it's going to be Mon Marcon Gyro Popje. I really don't know how to pronounce that name, but whatever, it's gonna be, we'll just call him the red player. He's gonna be the raw for this game. I actually played one game before against him, in which I lost the 1v1 matchup with my Set against him. So he's a pretty decent player, around 1652 I think. And on the flank against me is gonna be playing Racing Horse, a solid 17 plus player. Pretty good, especially on the Zeus, and I already have usually enough trouble against Greek as it is, especially Zeus. Him being good, this is definitely going to be pretty tough for me, and he right now is realizing that he's going to be playing against me playing Set. And let's have a look what I'm doing at the moment. So I have actually I have 3 on wood, but I should definitely fix this. This doesn't make any sense to put this guy here all this walk time. But as you guys can see, I put 3 guys on wood, and I usually don't do that, but if I want to leech off the Raw's Rain with Shadoof and stuff, I usually like to get 3 guys in Archaic on the wood just to afford all the stuff. The house builder doing a pretty good job, my monument being up, and I'm moving from the looks of it to this patch of hunt. Maybe I could have actually gone for this, but this is a little bit less walk time, so I guess I decided about that. And the Pharaoh is gonna empower the mining camp here to get enough gold for the second TC. And my friend Furkan is already through, and he's gonna go for the second town center straight away. He's gonna go for some typical Tor boom, and he actually went for forest fire. Okay, so no forest city for him, which is standard these days. I think I don't really see forest city on Tor that often these days. Usually people like to go for Freya these days. So 530 for me, and I'm moving my Pharaoh already to the back. Probably with some vills as well, or maybe not. Yeah, I'm force dropping these guys off. I think I should have shipped these guys away a little bit earlier. Would have been a bit better. And let's see what's gonna be going on for the time being. My hyena just scouting, but nothing else. I do see that he is taking a second TC. But him having ceasefire and this patch of animals not really gonna be accomplishing enough to stop it, I decided to just let him take it. There's no point in disrupting it anyways. It's not gonna be happening. And this guy's gonna be too late, my friend Lenny. So, unfortunately, he's gonna be having the TC, the forward TC actually. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now. And I just decided to be safe and take the back one. Because you never know what the Zeus is gonna pull with Hippocans, Centaurs. So I just decided to play it safe, especially knowing that Raising Horse is generally a better player than I am. So I just wanted to keep it safe. So is Shadoof actually being army coming up? Is Shadoof actually research at this point? No, not yet. That's okay. It's almost up. Okay. I am getting the priest now, probably to convert some more animals nonetheless. Probably some wolves and some aurochs for my attack. Wall coming up for my friend Furkan, and it seems like everyone is taking a second TC, except for Teal, which he is doing right now, which is pretty much standard about this timing for Teal. So everyone is going for a bit of a boomy game style, from the looks of it. And it seems like Furkan is going quite heavy on the walling, expecting some serious raiding from the looks of it. And I'm going to be preparing for the farms. And how is the Ra doing actually? How much prepared is he right now? Can we be expecting the rain? He is making the farm so far. And he's doing it in a different way than I am. I usually click each villager individually. He just likes to do it like this. I guess that works too, but it's going to be a little bit slower. I think he will be a little bit slower than me this way. Yeah, he is a little bit behind on me, but not that much. I think we're pretty much equal in the timing so far. Nice wall here by him. I don't make much walls usually. I always say for joking, I say walls is no balls, I usually say, but sometimes walls can be quite useful. So definitely a good move that Furkan and Red are going heavy on the walls. It's a pretty good idea. So yeah, my Pharaoh moving in to empower this. As I'm expecting rain relatively soon. I think the plow is ready for the rain. I just need the Ra to click rain. That's all I need from him. Okay, and there it is. So let's see if I'm gonna get enough stuff to go off heroic from that. In the meantime, actually not much is happening. I have been trying to see if Teal is gonna do something substantial, but it seems like he hasn't been all that successful in his raiding so far. He is blocking this hunt badge from being used, but that's about it. No villager kills or no serious downtime just yet, but who knows? Maybe he's gonna be finding something right now. He definitely is here, but he should micro this perfectly, because these villagers, they can actually take out these Sturmak quite easily, as soon as Raising Horns is paying attention. Yeah, so this villager might die, and he was paying attention. He actually didn't decide to fight that, which is actually pretty interesting to me. I think he could have killed the Sturman. It would have been a pretty huge loss for the Lenny losing the Valor. Okay, so there's the scout in there, and I did remember pinging Lenny to get rid of it, but it seems that he didn't do it, and he could come to regret that later this game maybe, because they have 2 potential underworlds. Okay, so another Valor coming in, but nothing catched so far. And what's happening here? Just a little bit of a fight, but nothing else so far. And I'm actually going for a segment from the looks of it. And it's something that I've been experimenting with against the Greek. Because I feel that the Greek ancestors or seizes my ancestors most of the time anyways. Or it's really awkward to use it in some cases. So I like to get segment, get some scarabs, and then attack. Besides, I think that that segment is better for late game with the long range chariot archers, and with the citadel, of course, giving the extra population. Actually, an extra 10, so that's pretty huge actually. I mean, I've like fortified DCs right now in population, even though I don't have the fortified DCs upgrade yet. Should be fixing these idols ASAP. Valkyrie doing a bit of raiding, but nothing too serious so far. Let's see what's going to be happening. Am I gonna move in anytime soon? Definitely need a siege for X2, which I should be building any second now. Is the market yet coming up? I usually do that right away. Seems that I have been taking a little bit longer this time around. Got some nice animals here for my initial push. They will definitely be quite helpful. And because I went for the farms, I also used the gazelle and giraffe in my push. Okay, so a bit of losses for Astra here in the buildings, but not too many units from the looks of it. But as I was finishing my thought, I usually eat the gazelles and the giraffes because they contain a decent amount of food that can be hunted, and they don't do much in the offense anyways. So I don't really like to waste that food being hunted and all. But since I went for farms, I'm kind of fine on the food actually. So yeah, I'm just kind of fine on it. So second monument, maybe making a third anytime soon. And it seems like I'm going for some kind of push. Or maybe not yet. I'm thinking I'm waiting for the siege tower a bit. Looping up the second. And having a second scarab already. Is the third coming in? Not yet, but it should be soon, since I do have the favor for it. So yeah, these animals, they can eat up, you know, like these are just worthless, these gazelles and these giraffes in the offense. So usually I like to eat them for food, but this time not, the looks of it. So yeah, siege tower should be coming in ASAP. And another scarab too, maybe? Don't have the food yet, okay. So that's not happening yet, but this scarab is doing some work probably. So yeah, these guys should be moving forward. Okay, now they are. Yeah, these scarabs are not that easy to deal with, especially if he's not focusing them with the Odysseus. And we should be paying attention here, nothing too much, bit of green losses, but nothing too serious. At the same time, it seems like I destroyed Raising Horn's TC, and the push is gonna be continuing. He might kill the scarab. This one he did, but this one survived, so he's gonna be able to do some more push. And I did force the ceasefire from him, which is gonna be meaning that I was during the attack I could take this TC for free. Pretty good for me. That means that I'm gonna be at 3, and Raising Horns is gonna be at 2, because he's gonna get this one back. But I'm building up more army so I can continue my push. Ooh, I hope for Lenny that this is coming up, because this is a serious army. No upgrades there yet, but I don't have either. Egypt usually goes for it a little bit later on the upgrades. This might, especially if the siege are. I'm not sure if he's that much fine in there. But let's see, more scarabs coming in for me. Actually, it's the same one. And I'm ready to push any further. But the Colossus are coming in. And me not deciding to go for Nephthys priests. This is gonna be very hard for me to deal with. I mean, Set doesn't have a mummy either. Set can't really deal with it all that much. So this is gonna be tough. And I might actually have some heavy losses here. This might not have been the best fight for me to pick. And a curse here on Lenny's army, and that is gonna be terrible for him. And restoration. Ooh, that is just brutal. That is just brutal. He is gonna lose his TC and a lot of army. Then he is definitely in some trouble. And I am pushing successfully from the looks of it. But we should ask ourselves at this point, at what cost? I mean, I'm losing almost everything here. Then I'm gonna lose this too. So I destroyed like a few units. And prevented him from getting that TC. That was probably a good move, but yeah, that's just rough. And Lenny seems to be getting some help from my friend Furkan here. And so far they are not really all that successful. And I'm receiving an earthquake by Imperator, which is gonna mean that I'm losing one Migdol and my siege works. Luckily this Migdol is still fine. That would have been horrible if I lost that one too. But at least I'm gonna have some production up. I do have the gold, but not a favor to make a new Migdol. Actually one, okay. So I'm getting one more Migdol. See, a bit of raiding here going on, but don't think he can be doing too much damage at this point. So Red is in a very good position against Lenny. Lenny seems to be having some troubles most certainly, and it seems like Raisin Horns actually got his TC back up. And how is his upgrades going? We should check that, because we did see the Colossus, which means that he has Hephaestus. The medium Myrmidons with just bronze so far, so nothing too scary just yet. Fortress coming up, and the TC is up for Red. That is gonna be rather serious, I think. That is gonna be rather serious. But some troops by me coming in, trying to assist my friends here to maybe get the TC down. And get this ground back for my friend Lenny. But at what cost? Again, because they are moving in with a Colossus that I just can't deal with. These chariots are definitely not going to be enough. Me losing the Pharaoh and the villagers, this is absolutely horrible. And are we getting something accomplished here? This Scarab is not gonna live for very long. He's nicely path blocked by pretty much everything. And yeah, I'm losing this Migdol, and I needed to shift back. So this TC is not gonna fall. I needed to shift back because I would be in no position. Actually I would be, but I just didn't want to lose the Migdols at my front, because losing the Migdols would mean losing this TC as well. Okay, so Meteor coming in. This would actually be an excellent location for the Meteor, but I decide to Meteor my opponent. So let's see how much damage that's going to be doing. Okay, so the TC might fall again if I'm lucky. Yes, okay, so at least I got the TC. But the army problems in my base are a really big problem. Losing one Migdol already. This siege works is not gonna be happening. I should be making a Migdol ASAP in my base, which I'm doing. But I don't have the Pharaoh. So that's a pretty big problem for me. At this point I should probably be retreating with this and just build up in my base. I mean, there is no fighting this anymore. The army of him is just too strong with the Myrmidons, which have by now already won bronze weapons actually. Yeah, the push on Lenny is gonna be continuing, and it's gonna be increasingly hard for him to deal with all this, with Red being on 40 seasonal. That being said, Ostro is quite nicely rated here. He's gonna lose all these wars, and this is gonna be quite influential. As is he ready for Ragnarok? he was readying up, so that's like 8 heroes less of a Ragnarok. So that's pretty huge. And I'm still trying to hold on here, but it's just not happening with this little amount of units. It's just not happening. Red dealing with the last military buildings in the front by Teal. And Teal is in a less and less good spot. Astro does have his Ragnarok ready, but let's see if it's gonna be enough. Because Lenny is not gonna live for a very long time without any help, and I don't think my future is much brighter actually. Especially since I'm sending in the elephants still, which I really shouldn't do. This is just a waste. They should be stacked up in here and maybe accomplish something else. The rag has been casted, so let's see if he's gonna be influential with it. I'm not too sure if it's gonna be the game winner. I'm losing my forward TC, being dropped at just 2 TCs for the moment. At least I got my Pharaoh back, so I can get a second Migdol up. But this side is gonna be very rough. So with Furkan's help, they managed to at least defend red for the moment. Okay, he should move a lot quicker than this. He doesn't have the time. Okay, now he's finally moving in with the flaming weapons. Luckily I forced that ceasefire earlier, so he's gonna be pretty much fine. But here with all the Myrmidons, do I actually have wood for chariots? I should make some more chariots actually. But yeah, these elephants are not the best pick against all these Myrmidons. And Furkan is realizing that against all these towers, he can't push through. Lenny is dying, I'm dying. This is a done deal. And I should have, instead of making the upgrades, I should have probably gone first for the chariot archers. Yeah, it's kinda too late. The mercenaries didn't help enough as well. And I decided to call it quits as well. It's just Lenny holding on for the moment, but he should resign shortly as well. So yeah, even with all the units here from green in my base, this Migdol wasn't even gonna come up, probably. So yeah, the elephants weren't the best choice, and I shouldn't have kept committing to my center. I should have just built up here, and that wouldn't have won me like the game, but it would have helped me stay alive a little bit longer, probably. See, I'm not sure why Lenny is not resigning yet in this recording. I'll just move on to the past game. I mean, it's a done deal anyways. So for the scores, we see me at the bottom in the end. Let's see what that's about. Lenny also pretty low. Actually, all of us being far behind in the end. You can really see it in the scores that we lost. But I think it was a nice game nonetheless. Like in mid-game, I was on the verge of success against raising horns, but I made some mistakes that ultimately gave him back the momentum and managed to kill me. Okay, so let's have a look at the economy. So 81 on me, very good economy for pink here. Okay, military, so I'm in a negative, as is Lenny probably. And I didn't realize that pink was so terrible in the military actually during the game. But apparently he was. He had like lots of losses. Of course this is the RAC 2 counting in there. Of course. But this is not a good KD even considering the RAC. Yeah, so sure the RAC is partially responsible for this, but also the game prior to this, otherwise you don't get a KD like that. So he probably took some bad fights as well, not the most optimal decisions probably. So pretty similar timings on me and red. He didn't get to mythic though, whereas I did. Otherwise anything special to see. Yeah, raising horns and Imperator are going mythic relatively fast from the looks of it, as is standard if you want to go for a Hephaestus on the Greek. But Imperator didn't go for Hephaestus actually, so that's interesting. So you can see the scarabs here for me, chimeras for green. Pretty standard stuff actually. Everyone having like their signature myth unit in there, so that kind of makes sense. So looking at the population, well, Lenny was having troubles from the looks of it from early on. So how much was the rag actually? It was from about 104 to 10. Okay, so it was not like 94 rag at 90 minutes. Could have been influential, wasn't too bad, I guess. 100 rag is pretty good. So could have been influential, but not enough considering that Lenny and I were already losing. Okay, so GG I guess. So it was a rough game for us. Definitely a nice game that I would like to share with you guys. I mean, I'm not about uploading only my wins on YouTube. I just want to upload the nice games that we can analyze, that we can have fun watching. I think this was a game that could have gone either way at multiple points if we just made different decisions. A little bit. So it was a close game in some sort of sense. I mean, we ended up losing like completely, of course, but at many points in the game, if we just played a little bit differently, especially in the match of me versus Raising Horns, it was like the little mistakes that added up a lot and made me lose that side. And I think these are the kind of games that I could be learning from, and also you. Well, I hope you enjoy the content meanwhile, actually, while enjoying the casting and such. But also a great learning opportunity, not only for me, but also for you. So anyways, I don't really want to keep talking about too long, you know, about all of this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. GG, and see you guys next time.